1 and 99.5 FM. My name is Joshua Van Slykeman, and let's get to the news in details. U.S. President Joe Biden recently disclosed his aggressively plans to reform the American oil and gas industry, starting with the increase of royalties paid by Exxonmobil and other oil majors. This was specifically noted in the U.S. State Department of Interior DOI report that was prepared in response to an Executive Order 14008 on tackling the climate crisis at home and abroad. This order stipulated that the DOI conducted a review of the federal oil and gas leasing and permitting practices. During the process, DOI made a damning observation. It said that the modernization of the federal oil and gas program has been delayed for decades to the detriment of American the public lands and waters, the environment, wildlife, and more. In its current form, the program falls short of serving the public interests in a number of important respects. It provides sufficient opportunities for public input, shortchanges taxpayers and states. Oil giant Exxonmobil has failed to outline in its environmental impact assessment for the Yellowtail development exactly how much waste would be generated and if the present facilities can accommodate same, even though this is a requirement by the regulatory body, the EPA. This is according to environmentalist Simon Mangle-Jolly. ESSO, in its revised cradle-to-grave waste report, alluded to systems it has lined up for treatment and the storage of waste. However, the document noted that of the 4 facilities, there are 3 that have no definitive startup period. Mangle-Jolly was keen to note that in the absence of such provision, ExxonMobil must address this deficiency in the Yellowtail EIA. She argued the matter should be of concern of all Guyanese. The quantities of toxic and other waste being brought to shore, health and ecological risk of each of their constituent parts, and how they are treated and disposed of a critical issue, as the toxic waste treatment facilities are in areas where people live. Some fishermen operating in the Atlantic Ocean offshore Guyana are expressing growing concerns over what they describe as an oily film floating at different points, leading many in the industry to believe that the oil companies might be covering up a possible oil spill. According to reports from a number of fisher folks operating from Essequibo to Berbice, the oil floating in the water could possibly be the cause for the decline in their fish catch. According to reports, up to yesterday, the black oily substance could have been seen close to the coast in the vicinity of the Anna Regina Cocaine Region 2. Fishermen in the Berbice area reportedly citing similar to those reports emanating from the Essequibo coast. We have since been provided with a number of video footage captured by different individuals from various points in Guyana's exclusive economic zone where the fishermen will ply their trade. The video depicts a dark, sometimes foamy film floating on the ocean surface. Guyana this year participated in the Investors Summit in Toronto, Canada, with Natural Resources Minister Vikram Bharat reaching out to Canadian investors, touting potential opportunities available here. Minister Bharat reportedly used the opportunity to highlight opportunities and outline incentives for investments in Guyana. According to subsequent public statements by the Natural Resources Ministry, several key areas were emphasized during the virtual participation, including Guyana's gas-to-energy project, a favorable fiscal regime, the establishment of a diaspora investment desk at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the facilitation of investment by the Guyana Office for Investment. Investors were also briefed on the non-oil gas areas for investments such as mining, forestry, manufacturing, and agriculture, while at the same time, Minister Barrett also touted Guyana as one of the fastest growing economies in the world. In light of increasing criticism on the 7% across-the-board increase, particularly by unions including the Guyana Public Service Union, the Guyana Teachers Union, and the Guyana Trade Union Congress, among others, Canadian-based Dr. Jerry Jailal believes that those unions in Guyana must understand that hefty pay raises are titled to renegotiation of the current oil contract. Dr. Jailal observed that DPI recently released an article essentially saying that the PPP is adamant about not renegotiating the contract. Dr. Jalal noted that in the midst of all the disruption of the economy and the government engaging in deficit spending, through heavy borrowing, it has offered a 7% increase, which is higher than the 5% usually imposed in violation of the collective bargaining agreements. According to Dr. Jalal, however, while 7% is way above the usual 5%, it is not enough given the inflation and high cost of living driven by the COVID-19 and the emerging oil economy. And moving on with the news. In recent weeks, months, and even years, there has been growing discontent among some in local business community over the proliferation of foreign companies operating locally, particularly in the extractive industries, namely gold and forestry, and more recently the oil and gas sector. To this end, President Ali has charged local manufacturers so not to be distracted by those foreign companies perceived to be eating away at the local content slice of the pie, but to instead focus on coming together and building their capacity, even through strategic partnerships with foreign companies. Ali was adamant that the focus of manufacturing communities should be on growing and bridging the existing gaps. And finally, at this time, some 30 companies have expressed interest in the government's gas ashore project, which is pegged at $900 million. Natural Resources Minister Vikram Bharat said that the companies from the US, China, and the European and Caribbean regions have already submitted their proposal. Locals, the minister said, have also partnered with regional companies for the project. While he was careful not to divulge the names of the companies, Bharat only highlighted some structural changes that have been made.